Well, this is the very definition of a six-pointer, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at Hayden Road, the home of AFC Rushden and Diamonds, for what is set to be a fantastic match at the bottom end of the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Liam Cook with you, bringing you throughout the entirety of this fixture. AFC Rushden and Diamonds in the middle of a resurgence after winning their last three fixtures, after just winning one before the turn of the year. Coventry Sphinx on a high after beating Coleshill Town by 3 goals to 2, despite being down to 10 men for the majority of the game. This is set to be a very enticing game, and well, there's not many times that we have competition in this league for the media, but we do today. AFC Rushden and Diamonds with their own brilliant commentary next to us, so do make sure to check them out after today's game. Before today's match, there will be a period of reflection and appreciation for AFC Rushden and Diamond supporters Richard Denny and Pete Clawson, who recently passed away.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone here at Hayden Road this afternoon, announcement for you all. Today we remember one of our friends who was a club man from the days when we were Rushden Town FC. Through the days of Rushden and Diamonds, where Richard was a friendly, welcoming face and a colleague in recent years. Richard Denny would attend our games at AFC Rushden and Diamonds and watch the progress of our reborn club. We lost him, sadly passed, some weeks back, and we'd like to have a minute's applause for him. But before we do that, we also remember Eddie Ball, who was another regular supporter of Rushden, who lived but a stone's throw from Hayden Road as a boy in Hove Road and kept his support until his recent passing. Let us remember them with the applause they deserve from all of you. Thank you.
A fitting tribute to two members of the AFC Rushden and Diamonds family who sadly are no longer with us, and I have no doubt that these two teams will put on a show. Talking of which, let's get you straight into the action, kicking off with the first team lineup of Coventry Sphinx, starting for the Sky Blue and Whites today, who are in their changed strip of navy and red hoops. Number 1, Keelan Fallows. Number 2, Joe Percy. 3, Finley Sharrock. 4, Alfonso Castellano. 5, the captain, Lewis Guest. 6, William Ejinguele. 7, Ashton DeMolder. Number 8, Jack Downs. 9, Matty Shipman. 10, Jack Redhead. And 11, Tyler Haddo. Substitutes for Coventry Sphinx. Number 12, Luke Downs. Number 14, Alex Locke. 15, Callum Whiteside. And 16, Leo Wood. And starting for AFC Rushden and Diamonds today, number 13, George Rose. Number 2, Daniel Tago. Number 3, Lewis Pinto. Number 4, Joe O'Neill. Number 5, Michael Harriman, the player manager. Number 6, Jarvis Wilson. 7, Miguel Ngwa. Number 8, Ryan Inman. 9, Luke Embry. 10, Fraser Corden. And 11, Ethan Johnson. We are underway now. Coventry Sphinx kicking from left to right. Rushden and Diamonds in their home strip of white, blue and red. Matty Shipman appealing for an early free kick there, having a little bit of a tussle with the right back Tago. Early break down the right hand side. William Ejinguele cutting out the run from Fraser Corden and sends it out off the thigh of last week's hat-trick hero for a Coventry Sphinx throw deep into their own backyard. Shark. Fancy hand by Shipman. Haddo chips it through the back line, no one home, safely back with George Rose, not the most competent of clearances. Should be kept in though by the defender. Indeed it is by Lewis Pinto. Ungwa. Skip past Jack Redhead and outstretched leg trips him up. That's 8 yards from the halfway line. Free kick to the Diamonds. And AFC Rushden and Diamonds trying to take a couple of yards on that free kick. Ashton DeMolder playing the ball back to where it should be. Michael Harriman, a EFL journeyman, ready to take this free kick. And even though he is the player manager, he's not the captain, that man being Ryan Inman. Headed away in the penalty area by Guest. Shorrock runs into Ethan Johnson, and Johnson brings it back for the Diamonds. Here's the captain, Inman, in the infield. Going for goal himself and bubbles into the grateful grasp of Keelan Follows, who quickly distributes it to Ashton Amorda, who wasn't aware that the ball was heading towards him. He got the call, track back, and plays it along the right-hand side to Shipman, covered up by Harriman. And hooked out by midfielder Joe O'Neill. Just in front of the Rushden. Percy up to Shipman. Nodded on by Shipman. Lied on Jarvis Wilson. He tried to get to the ball before the goalkeeper did. Free kick given in favour of the home side. Excuse me. And we will, of course, keep what's going on around the grounds in the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. Some crucial matches, especially Rugby versus Cambridge. So 2 6-pointers at the wrong end of the table, as well as the latest goings on at Carrow Road as Coventry City take on Norwich City in the EFL Championship. Haddo looking to scramble away from Inman. His second appearance for Coventry Sphinx. Sphinx heading downhill in this first half. Can they try and make by Jarvis Wilson, one of 2 changes to the Rushden lineup. Rolled left with Ungwa, Coventry City youngster in the Sphinx goal. One final score to bring you for the Premier League. Everton with a 94th minute equaliser at home to Spurs. Ended 2-2 at Goodison Park. Percy closed down at the last minute by Corden at the expense of a throw. A couple of yards into the Rushden half. Percy. Shipman the target again. Shipman left a little too early, but nodded towards the corner by Haddo, but blocked off by Michael Harriman, stronger than he looks. Shielding the ball from the former Barwell and Coventry United forward. Made his debut against Coastal last week, make a sizable impression. And there's already been a goal in the Premier League. Brighton lead Crystal Palace by 1-0 in the derby that isn't a derby. There's miles between those 2 teams, but for some reason they absolutely hate each other. I believe it was due to an incident in the 1970s after talking to a Crystal Palace fan that I know. Goal kick onto the head of Castellano, but volleyed on by Inman. Guest will see it back to Fallows. Neither goalkeeper tested yet in the opening 5 minutes. Still 0-0 between AFC Rushden and Diamonds and Coventry Sphinx. Hello, challenging Inman. It's Inman who gets his head on it, but not back where it came from by Guest. Getting a head test going on early on. And it's Shipman who brings it to an end. Looking for the through ball to Redhead, perhaps. A crowded back line in front of him. Castellano takes it into some space in the penalty area on the right-hand side. Alfonso Castellano takes line, tries to put the cross in. Doesn't beat Pinto. And Ungwa's run curtailed by Percy. Knocked it out for the throw-in level with the penalty area, but prevents the counter. Luis Pinto races over to the left and collects. Redhead. But opens the door for Redhead again. Lovely back heel. Finley Shorrock looking for a route in from the left-hand side. Ball by Redhead. Cannons off a white shirt. And they'll try again from the left. Shorrock, Shipman calling for it. It's towards Tyler Haddo. And a dangerous header out by Harriman. It will be a corner. But for a moment, you didn't know whether that ball was heading into his own net. Sphinx getting their marching orders. Ashton DeMolder on loan from Solihull Moors. Hooks in towards edge and Gwele, but it's brought down well by Rose. Rose has been away from Rushden and Diamonds for a while. He's been on loan. Rose places it on the deck. It's a ironic cheer from one of the Sphinx faithful. Lewis Guest thumps it back into Rushden's own half. It's with the player manager now, Harriman. Miguel Ungwa taking on Percy along the left-hand side. Lungin takes the ball out from behind. Neat challenge on the slide by Joe Percy. Throwing just shy of the penalty area for Pinto. Looking for Emery. Rushden already one of the more vocal supporters we've encountered this season. Of course, AFC Rushden and Diamonds, a huge club in their original guise. Their days in the EFL well documented for the sad demise of the club in 2011. Follows. Nodded up by Shipman on the halfway line, tries to bring it down. It's Inman who's first to the punch. Switches to the left-hand side for Ungwa to chase against Joe Percy. Percy will get there first. It's bundled over from behind. A soft free kick to give away for Rushden, but one that will be given all day long. DeMolder playing out from midfield. Closed down, tries to find Shipman along the right-hand side. It just bobbles over the line before he can get there. A couple of yards down line from the penalty area for AFC Rushden and Diamonds that have a throw-in with Pinto, but they can ill afford to lose the ball here. High to Ungwa. Closed down by Castellano. Castellano and DeMolder especially feel it should have been a Sphinx ball as it was shepherded out on the halfway line. A couple of early goals to tell you about. Anstey Nomads have taken the lead at Sporting Cowser, and Loughborough Dynamo, who Sphinx play on Tuesday, are one up at Walsall Wood. Ungwa looking for a route past a sizable presence of Guest, who just swats him aside like a fly swatter, I should say. And the clearance from DeMolder actually deflects off the referee, who sensibly halts the game for a drop ball. And, well, let's just say that drop ball didn't go to plan for Coventry Sphinx. Ended up just in front of the Sphinx camera. And some of the Rushden fans in front of us will hope they're all wearing bicycle helmets after that. Throw by Pinto towards Emery. Nodded across the referee, getting in the way of Jack Redhead there. The referee getting a little more involved in this match than he would have liked to. Inman, floating ball towards Tago. Eventually cut out by Tyler Haddo, struggling for a route out, but Tago looking to beat Jack Downs to the punch, and Downs infuriated that the free kick's been given against him on the right-hand side of the pitch, knocking on the Sphinx door. Downs with his arms outstretched, trying to keep Tago at bay, not to the linesman's liking. And Downs getting a bit of stick from the home faithful. The sort of player that Downs is, that won't bother him one bit. The captain, Ryan Inman, standing over it. He's looking to get the ball in field and into the net. Comes Fallows, and at the second time of asking, he brought it to hand. Lost it momentarily, but a grateful grasp onto it at the second time of asking. Still no goals in the championship, so it remains 0-0 between Norwich City and the Sky Blues of Coventry City. Mark Robins' men going well in the championship. Sphinx looking to get this one away, and Keenan fires already a target of the Rushden faithful behind him, and much to their delight, it skews out short of the halfway points. And Keenan follows me. I said the council did his hair. I didn't like to ask. Jack Downs picks it up at the back, and as you can probably hear from the Rushden fans again, Sphinx are able to clear their lines. Well, it's only been 14 minutes. I've heard more from the Rushden fans than I have the majority of home supporters this season. Tago looking for a ball in from the right-hand side in towards Emery. Downs has got that one. Reto tries to bring it down, but sent back in by Tago. Follow sees it coming all the way and brings it down, even with his council cut. Launches it to the right-hand side for Ashton the Mulder. Called up by Harriman, Shipman. Sphinx in the final third of AFC Rushden and Diamonds for the first time in about 5 minutes. And Sphinx have got the throw in as Ungwa diverting it out for the in a dangerous position. DeMulder wants it. He's the only real option for Sphinx. There needs to be a bit of movement. But Percy No going long in towards Shipman. Headed up by Inman. And again, Castellano keeps it alive via the head. O'Neill back into the midfield. And Rushden can breathe a sigh of relief. And they've got the free kick as well. Edging well over hand on the shoulder of Emery. Just next to the centre circle. Free kick Rushden. Harriman will take it himself. Harriman curling to the right corner of the box. Passes past Emery. High clearance by Ejingwale out to the side. Just outside the Sphinx box on the right wing for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. 15 minutes gone, still scoreless. No real shots on goal to tell you about, except for a miscued effort from Inman earlier on. You can tell it's a tense occasion. Neither team can afford to lose today. Ejingwale nods out the throw, redhead. Looking for Haddo. Haddo did receive it momentarily, but challenged from behind by Harriman, the player manager, down the right-hand legs with Shorrock, and out for the corner. Tago trying to steady himself with a cross. Shorrock prevented that, but has given Rushden the chance from the set piece. Sphinx without Callum Woodward's leadership today, sent off against Coastal Town, a 3-match ban starting today. Also without Kyle Carey due to that shoulder injury. Inman. Head across the box, no one could make the vital touch towards the net, however, and Ejingwale ends the danger for now. With the Rushden throw midway into Sphinx's half of the field. Pinto looking for a white shirt, a sea of red and navy. Emery nods across, and as far as Shirk on the edge of the box. Half volley away, Inman nods it straight to Downs, and now with 3 Russian defenders in front of him, has got a job to do here. Drifts to the left-hand side, covered up by Wilson, but steps into the box. It's a high one towards Tyler Haddo! Right in front of goal, didn't get the right connection. A clean contact with his head. But just glances off his bonce and out for the goal kick. And as the Rushden manager is saying next to us, that is a huge let-off for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Coventry Sphinx should be one up, but this is not a game of shoulds. It is a game of absolutes, and Sphinx did not take advantage there. Game for a while. This is only his second appearance since October. After a brief stint with Highgate United in the Midlands Premier League. Emery's header from Keen on Fire's clearance. Shark. They're trying to find a route through. Michael Harriman didn't pay off as he would have liked. Emery goes to the ground after a little tug from behind. Referee says nothing doing. Hooked up towards Shipman again. Wilson only diverts into the path of Redhead. And Shark with two hands into the side of Ethan Johnson. So the free kick. Johnson going to go down every day of the month there. Coming up to the 20-minute mark. Sphinx have had by far and away the best chance of the game. Harriman. Edgiguele gets the free kick there, bundled down from behind by Emery. And a couple of goals from the Championship. Hull leading Millwall by 1-0. Preston 2 up at home to second place. Ipswich, Southampton leading at Rotherham as well, but it's still 0-0 between Norwich and Coventry City. Harbour Town, I should say, have scored against Bedworth United, 1-0 there to Harbour through Tendai Dare. We'll also be keeping a watchful eye on Rugby Town versus Cambridge City, but still 0-0 there too. Wind catching that free kick from Fallows. On by Johnson, down the right-hand side, Edgiguele should have it covered. Closed down by Emery, Edgiguele sees it out for a throw-in, not a goal kick as he was hoping. It just goes the wrong side of the flag. And Finley Shorrock, who will be living off that goal he scored against Kozol last week for a long time, hoofs it along the flank to Matty Shipman. 60 legs through that one for Haddo. Over the back line, hoped to keep up to it, but Pinto able to clear before he could get there. Here's Castellano. Looking to switch the play to Joe Percy behind the right back and into the home dugout. Rushden looking to get a foothold in this game again after this little spell of Sphinx pressure. It's over to Mulder. Emery. That was being pulled from behind by Lewis, which will be taken by Joe Percy. It's over Ungler. It's over O'Neill. Kept in by the head of Pinto. Castellano keeps it alive for Coventry Sphinx. Now it's with Jack Redhead. Rolls it left for Shorrock, the left back. Jack Downs in for the suspended Callum Woodward today. Back to Shorrock. Rolls it along the line to Jack Downs. Little step in by Tago. Castellano on to Shark. Shark's delivery and brought down well by Rose with Tyler Haddo home to beat him to the punch mid-air. Rose bouncing the ball. He's not going to rush things here. Rushden may be on a 3-game winning run, but with the situation still rather perilous, every point counts, as it does for Sphinx. Ungwa barged out. Did Castellano get a touch? Yes, he did. Stuck the leg in, deflected it out for the corner. Halfway through this first half at Hayden Road in the Pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands. AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Coventry Sphinx 0. Harriman. Shot at court as he raced across Harriman, free kick. Keelan follows. Follows. Floating towards Tyler Haddo. Fletching off Wilson. Now Tago trying to keep it away from Shipman. Shipman has got on the end of it. Curls it left for Tyler Haddo. Tight angle will look for the pass. Redhead scuffs the turned away by Pinto. Shark. Bobbles over to Percy. Guest back in Sphinx territory, but boots it back towards the penalty area, and DeMolder off the head of Harriman, up rather than out by O'Neill. Downs beaten to it by Ungwa. Just about keeps it within the confines of play and hooked away by Harriman in his own penalty area. Guest goes to ground under the header from Emery. Was appealing for a free kick, didn't get it. Ungwa thought he had kept the ball within the confines of play, he hadn't. And in front of the home technical area, it will be a throw-in to AFC Rushden and Diamonds with 20 minutes left of this first half. We'll be taking a short break at half-time, so get yourself a mug of something hot or a glass of something cold. Get back here for 4 o'clock. Pinto. Up by DeMolder and on by Downs. That for another throw-in, another 10 yards further along. Emery. Looking for Corden. And there was a Corden in front of him in the form of William Willey. They'll come back with Inman. Knocked out by Ashton. DeMolder before the clearance. And just about level with the penalty area. It will be a Rushden throw. Rushden have had the marginal majority of possession in the opponent's final third. Castellano. Finds Jack Redhead in the midfield. Haddo making the run left. Got to try and judge the bounce. Flicks it over Tago. And tricks his way past. But via deflection takes it out for the throw-in. Great work from Haddo. No ring rust on the local lad. So the throw halfway into Rushden territory on the left. Taken by Shorrock. Shipman. Haddo waiting for it in the area, trying to find his way for a sea of white, bundled over, but got the ball away to Downs before he did. Redhead. Rushden told to stop the cross. They couldn't, but the goalkeeper could. Smothers it to the near post there, George Rose. Shot stopper places it on the deck and will get us underway again towards Luke Emery. Back where it came from with a former Coventry City centre-back William Ejengwele. Clearance charged down by Haddo. Shipman asking a bit much of Tyler Haddo there. You'd need Usain Bolt with rocket boots to get on the end of that one. And George Rose punts it into the danger zone again. Emery nods it back. Johnson looks to return to Emery only as far as Ejengwele. Now Shipman. Redhead takes it over. There's a little gap in the back line and he threads it through for Tyler Haddo. It's beyond Tago. Haddo trying to poke it past the goalkeeper. Well saved. Redhead over the goalkeeper but over the crossbar. Rose stood his ground. I was able to deflect the ball away from his net. Redhead tried the cheeky, but his luck wasn't in. sends it high into the rather grey sky. Wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of rain in the second half. Haddo, headed on by Demorda, playing in a rather unconventional wide role today. Looking to fight his way down that right-hand side, but eventually a combination of Pinto and Corden fights him off. But Castellano's got it back. Redhead, Demorda, and over the line by Corden. Scored all 3 goals against Boldmere last week. Just in front of the camera, it's going to be Joe Percy to take it. Coming up to the half-hour mark, still 0-0. Sphinx with the better of the chances in the first half. Looks for Matty Shipman. Inman's header. Johnson was hoping to hook it away. Redhead paused that possibility momentarily, but Johnson has cleared now. Yes, heads it back into Sphinx possession. Demorda forced back into his own half with William Ejenguele. Shorrock inside to Jack Downs, his brother Luke on the bench today. Tyler Haddo trying to trick his way past Tago, couldn't do so. Takes it over the line for the throw-in, and there's concern for Coventry Sphinx as Ashton Demorda is going to need some assistance here, is he? No, he's holding a, let's call it a sensitive area. I'd assume it's more of a groin issue if he's holding that part of the anatomy. But Demorda is back on his feet, not moving particularly comfortably. It's back with George Rose. Got it into the ground by Castellano to Tyler Haddo, and a slide by Tago from behind. Took out the leg of the Coventry Sphinx forward. It will be a free kick. And the yellow card is already out. Tago tried to make himself scarce there, but it has now been called over by the man in black, and he's accompanied by Inman, the captain. Well, the Rushden fans don't like it, and neither do the Sphinx management. They wanted something more severe. Rushden stay with 11 men on the pitch. The question is, will they remain with a clean sheet intact at half-time in just 13 minutes? Shark slips as he gets the ball away to Haddo, and the offside flag raised against Tyler Haddo as he chests it down, and the free kick comes to nothing for Sean Thomas and John Woodward's side. A couple of goals in the Championship. Leicester 2-0 up at Stoke City, and Plymouth at Swansea. In the Premier League, Luton by 2 goals to 1. It's still 0-0 at Carrow Road between Norwich and Coventry City. Corn have just taken the lead against Kozel by 1 goal to 0. Spalding 1 up against Gresley Road. Downs to Redhead, just the ball could be swept away, and Tyler Haddo trying to beat the goalkeeper to it. He charged down the attempted clearance by Rose, but the seconds fell to Harriman. Clears as far as Shark, who nods it up and away from Johnson. And Sphinx get the free kick. A couple of bites of the cherry there from Johnson. Shark and Jack Redhead taking a tumble. Guest. Percy to Guest again. Looks for Shipman. Puts it into the deck, but O'Neill will end the immediate danger towards the centre circle. Emery tried to knock it back for Inman. Castellano momentarily brought it back, but the challenge in by Inman took it to Johnson. Now with Tago. Misplaced ball along the right touchline for Johnson, out for a throw. Out 15 yards into Sphinx territory for the away side. Coming up to the 35th minute, still 0-0 to... Remember to join us on Tuesday night. Cheeky midweek fixture at a Sphinx Drive, which is undergoing renovations at the moment, so do try and park elsewhere if you can. A lot of building work going on. That's Coventry Sphinx versus Loughborough Dynamo this Tuesday, 7:45 kickoff, £10 for adults if you want to see it in person. And if you just want to hear the best of the action here on the Sphinx YouTube channel, we will have live commentary as always. And Jack Downs, unfortunate, running into the outstretched leg of Inman, who's gone down holding his ankle. Downs explained there was little he could do. And Downs is being called over by the referee. And Downs told, in no uncertain terms, to curb the attitude by his co-manager John Woodward. And Russian management asking for consistency. They obviously want to see Downs' name taken. And Harriman is going to leave it for Rose to take. Rose towards Emery. It's over Emery and headed back where it came from by Lewis Guest. Seconds collected by Ethan Johnson. Chips it down the right side for Daniel Tago. First to it is Finley Shark, and his clearance charged down by Tago. Out for the goal kick. Worked out beautifully for the away side with just 10 minutes until the break. Still 0-0. The highlights of today's game will be available here on the Coventry Sphinx YouTube channel. Hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow afternoon. Shark floats it towards Jack Downs. Glancing header onto Redhead. Castellano, run being made down the right by Percy. Percy picked up by the Spaniard. Challenge in from the side by Ungwa, and Ungwa barking at the assistant, saying it's our throw, and he has got his way. The challenge in from the side on Joe Percy. Emery nods the throw to Johnson. Percy. Ungwa clears up to the halfway line. Inman tries to put it back into the danger zone. It's a high one for Ungwa. And this time he's unable to keep the ball in. Joe Percy just shielding the ball from Miguel Ungwa, the number 7 for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Percy looking for a red shirt. Shipman's the target. Headed by Pinto, a stretch by Ungwa. Couldn't quite keep it in before it went out just in front of the away technical area. Percy with the quick throw towards Shipman. Pinto again gets his head to it. This time keeps it in for Ungwa. Skips away from Demorda and leaps into Castellano. Referee says nothing doing. But poor placement for the passing in the final third for Rushden and Diamonds. Interception by Ungwa. Pinto, aimless ball towards the left corner of Sphinx's back line and rolls out for the goal kick. Rushden just not thinking. After that free kick from Ungwa wasn't given, it's almost as Rushden lost their heads a little bit. And they've got to try and calm things down and get back in this game. Fallows gets us underway. Ungwa waiting for that one to fall. It's actually Inman who connects with the header straight out for the throw-in. Wasted opportunity perhaps for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. At the moment, I would say we'll be happier with the 0-0 scoreline heading into half-time. Percy. It's past Shipman. Michael Harry-Mulder. Castellano rolls up onto the chest of Matty Shipman and gets the throw-in of it, trying to take it past Pinto, but Pinto knocked it out. Percy giving his orders where to take the throw in. Launch towards the penalty area over Shipman. Inman nods across his own penalty area and Downs tried to snatch it away from Tago. But an aimless clearance by Tago. Counter there. You can probably hear the disappointment over the microphone. Rushden have lost their way a little bit. Sphinx will hope to take advantage. Here's Harriman in a congested midfield. Tapped by Redhead to Downs. Now Finley Shorrock. Haddo. Going to trick his way past Tago. Redhead thinking about the strike. Squares it for Jack Downs. Couldn't get the touch right. It was up and nodded away by Inman, but only as far as Percy, who's body checked by Ungwa. Free kick to the Sky Blue and Whites, who aren't in Sky Blue and White today. It will be DeMolder to whip it in the absence of Callum Woodward, the usual set-piece taker. DeMolder, highly rated central midfielder on loan from Solihull Moors. And the wind actually moving the ball. So DeMolder will place it again. Plenty of movement in the penalty area. Who can he find? It's towards Lewis Guest. Nodded down by Guest. Was hoping to find Tyler Hallow. Inman just there in time. Sends it back to DeMolder. Hooks it over Ungwa. Redhead tries to keep it in, prevented from doing so by Corden, who's had a quiet afternoon after such a busy game against Boldmere. Ungwa dispossessed. Redhead plays a 1-2 with Jack Downs looking for Matty Shipman. It was just to the left, him allowing Harriman to sweep in. Miguel Ungwa on the halfway line, left-hand side of the field. O'Neill, first time ball by Corden. Now it's with the captain. Inman floats it right. Chance to race onto it perhaps for Ethan Johnson. Hassled and harried from behind by Finley Shorrock. Shorrock's not letting him out of his sight. Hannah's back to try and sweep it up. Ball in by Tago. No one home for Rushden. Header away unchallenged by Lewis Guest. DeMolder looks for Shipman onto the chest of Harriman. Percy's header. Into touch to try and curb that enthusiasm from the home side. Try and slow the pace down. Emery shields from the captain, Guest. Miguel Ungwa gets the free kick. He swept it past the model. It was tripped on the way through. So on the left side of the penalty area, a set piece for the Diamonds. Best opportunity up for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Can they make it count? After Sphinx failed to capitalise on their own opportunities earlier in the game. It's 2 minutes before the break. It'll be a timely opener. Inman towards that near post. Stabbed away by Lewis Guest. And rolls out in the corner for the throw-in. Rushden taking their time here. They want to make sure the final knockings of the first half are at that end of the park. Long throw by Ungwa. Percy was being held and brought to the ground where he says nothing doing as Corden looking for room to manoeuvre on the edge of the box. Didn't find it. Cleared as far as Pinto on the halfway line. Now racing down the left. And a late lunge by Tyler Haddo. Immediately the yellow card comes out. Ironic cheers from the Rushden faithful. Little pat on the back by Inman saying thanks for that. Haddo with a new and improved blonde hairstyle. You certainly won't miss him in a dark room. Into the final minutes of normal time. There will be a couple of minutes of stoppages. It will take no more than 2 minutes. Rushden getting their orders from the dugout. And waiting to march into the box from the edge. High one by Inman. Follows, sees it coming, but it bounces onto the roof of the net. Taken out as he let the ball go between his hands. Saw it was going over and decided to not risk the corner kick. And a few words from Luke Embry that the Sphinx faithful are not too endowed with. And Lewis Guess, in no uncertain terms, telling Embry to back off. And Luton have just equalised at Newcastle United. It's now 2-2 there at St James's Park. And it's Ross Barkley who recently has been playing like prime Messi in the Premier League. And still the arguments continue from Inman and Emery. But cooler heads thankfully prevail. And we'll get the last knockings of this first half played. Looking likely we're going to head in scoreless. Follows, drifts to the right. Down to beaten mid-air by Inman. Emery, has Ungor got there in time? No, he hasn't. Throwing halfway into their own turf down the right-hand side for Sphinx. And the referee blows for half-time. A 10th opportunity through Tyler Haddo and Jack Redhead to take the lead. There's certainly all to play for after the break. Half-time score, AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Coventry Sphinx 0.
There is no score. AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Coventry Sphinx 0.
And that will do us for half-time here in the Coventry Sphinx YouTube channel. We will be back at 4 o'clock for the conclusion of this pitching in Northern Premier League match. We're back for the second half here at Hayden Road. AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0 for what is short 45 minutes. But AFC Rushden and Diamonds will now be heading downhill in the second half. No changes from what we can see. So it's as you were after the break. Referee gives the go-ahead. We're underway. Sphinx now kicking from right to left on the Sphinx camera. You'd have to think that Alejado out for the throw. Quick run through of the half-time scores from the pitching in Northern Premier League Midlands in a moment. This net's pass and slip through for Shipman now by Demorla. It's Matty Shipman, stopped with the leg. Less than a minute into the second half. The Rushden and Diamonds goalkeeper called into action, and George Rose stopping Shipman from opening the scoring. Castellano. Demorla. Lots of space on the left-hand side for Redhead. Johnson got there first, but Redhead slides in to bring it back for the visitors. And little drag from behind by O'Neill, free kick in favour of Downs and Coventry Sphinx. Jack Downs is going to leave it for Jack Redhead. It's about 7 or 8 yards into half of the field, down the centre of the park. Lobbed it in and straight into the hands of George Rose, the shot stopper for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Trotted in today as a replacement for Ben Heath. Sent high into the sky by Rose. Shark's header on towards Shipman, looking to meet the run of Tyler Haddo. And Haddo shoved out by Tago. Daniel Tago looking for a white shirt up line. Towards Emery. Good header by Shark. And unfortunate for O'Neill, sending it out as he tried to return to Emery on this near side. Shark throws into Rushden territory. It's over the head of Shipman. Launched up by Wilson. And off the back of Downs, was it? No, in fact, it's been given in favour of Coventry Sphinx. And in fact, it has now been overturned. It definitely was a throw into Rushden. It hit the top of Jack Downs' back. The referee obviously didn't see how this throw can be taken. Seen a few Rushden substitutes warming up on the bench for the Diamonds. John Dean, Dylan Wilson, Tejan Thomas, Jacob Scott and Ruben Wyatt as well. And for Coventry Sphinx on the bench, Luke Downs, Alex Locke, Callum Whiteside and Leo Wood. And Unga runs it into touch of the pressure from Downs from behind the far side of the field. Throw into the Sphinx, quickly to Joe Percy towards the head of Shipman. Nodded up by Harriman, the player manager for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Away by Inman. Sphinx not taking no for an answer here. Edging Guale, the centre-back for Coventry Sphinx, rolls it left for Shark, just keep it within the confines of the field. And gets the free kick as he had to leap out of the way of a in our own division. Corby 0, Hinkley LRFC 0, Harbour Town 1, Bedford United 0, Quorn 1, Coleshill Town 1. Quorn the next opposition for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Crucial scoreline for Rugby. They lead Cambridge by 1-0. Michael Taylor in the 41st minute putting Rugby ahead. Shepshed 0, Boldmere 0, Spalding 1, Gresley 0. Surprise result here, well, surprise scoreline I should say. Sporting Council 0, Anstey Nomads 3. Sutton Coldfield 0, Lighttown 0 and Walsall Wood 1. Loughborough Dynamo 2, and there's an early substitution here. Luke Emery, and he will be replaced by Dylan Wilson.
Substitution for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Number 14, Dylan Wilson in. Number 9, Luke Emery out.
So the first change of the match. And it looks like Wilson will be taking a spot on the wing, and potentially Ethan Johnson playing down the centre of the Russian attack. Free kick taken by Ejin Guale. Downs forced into that left-hand corner. Tries to get the corner kick out of it. Doesn't do so. There was no deflection on the way through from O'Neill, and it will be a goal kick to AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Expecting a bit of a cagey second half. Draw is not desirable, but no disaster for either team. But if either was to get a winner, there could be problems for the other. And turns the header away, but it's shielded into touch by Ashton de Mulder. Redhead trying to get to the seconds on that header. Harriman stops it from going out for the corner kick, but concedes the throw right in the corner on the right-hand side. Joe Percy looking for a Gunnarsson special, as we call it in Coventry, after the Coventry City midfielder Aaron Gunnarsson. Our answer to Rory Delap. Towards Shipman. The defender got his head on that one first. And Ungwa will look to race away. He's covered off by de Mulder. And that's with Tago. For an early opportunity for Wilson. Trying to put it through the legs of Keenan. Fires a tame effort from a great position. Wilson to Tago. Wayward cross from the number 2. Dylan Wilson looking to make an instant impact. And there has been a goal at Carrow Road. Norwich City 0, Coventry City 1. Callum O'Hare putting the Sky Blues in front. So Coventry City 1-0 up away at Norwich City. And we're hearing it was quite the beauty from O'Hare, who has been linked with Leicester and Southampton in recent weeks. Thankfully, the transfer window now closed. But O'Hare still yet to sign a new contract, with his deal ending in July. Goal goes to the head of Downs, but not a back where it came from by Harriman. Castellano was looking for a well-timed ball to Ashton de Mulder, but it was deflected off Pinto onto the forearm of Matty Shipman, who said there's nothing he could do about it. Tad unlucky for Shippo, but referee giving it in favour of AFC Rushden and Diamonds. George Rose, the Rushden goalkeeper, to take it. Well, 5 yards outside his penalty area. Rose. Ethan Johnson holding off Guest, but seconds fall to Redhead. And Redhead looking to try and play it through the middle to Tyler Halloran, punted well clear by Rose. And they're going to have to go and ask the neighbour for the ball back. That one flying over the now closed main stand at Hayden Road. Developments around the ground will be starting soon. Percy looks for Shipman from the throw. Not at a cross by Shipman. He did, but it was too close to Wilson, the centre-back. Sphinx coming back for more here. Shipman covered up by Pinto. Pinto gets the better of him, snatches it away one-on-one. O'Neill. His long ball onto the head of Lewis Guest. And kicks Sphinx there. I think there was a little bit of contact. It was rather innocuous. Not entirely sure who got the touch there, but it will be a Sphinx free kick. To be taken by Alfonso Castellano, his second start for the Sphinx after signing for the club way back in October. Castellano, Guest waiting at the far post. Header across by Guest. Redhead on the volley, just slices wide of the top corner. Had 55 minutes at Hayden Road. Still AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Coventry Sphinx 0. AFC Rushden and Diamonds' hat-trick of victories has brought them well back into play in the relegation fight. There was a point of the season where supporters of certain clubs were saying there was only one relegation place left to fill. Rushden have certainly answered their critics. Johnson, Tago behind him, but Johnson going for the cross. Couldn't find a white shirt, diverted away by Jack Downs. Poor touch from Tago. Redhead, has he got the throw in? Yes, he has. Sends it off the back of the Rushden centre-back, Jarvis Wilson. Jarvis Wilson playing at centre-back and Dylan Wilson playing on the wing. Shark just into Rushden territory on the left side will take it. Shipman up for it, but headed back where it came from by Dylan Wilson. Redhead. Shark looking for an option in the centre with that lofted ball, but brought down by Ungwa. Now looking for a route around his opposite number 7 in Ashton the Mulder. Still going Miguel Ungwa, great run. Swipes it away from Redhead, looking to switch the player Wilson. It's unfortunate, it was too close to finish shot with a stumble from Haddo on this cut-up surface. Allows Rushden back onto it. Here's the substitute again, Dylan Wilson. Shark steps in with the challenge, and he was appealing for the Sphinx throw, but no real aggravation from him when it's given in favour of Rushden. Daniel Tago with the throw-in, but of hustle and bustle between Shark and Dylan Wilson. Echingwale heads it back to the throw-in taker. Castellano prevents it from reaching Tago. Gordon to O'Neill. DeMolder, a little flick on by the heel of Castellano. Oh, and a nasty collision between Shorrock and Inman. Spinks have been given the free kick, but the most important thing now is the safety of both players. Shorrock's holding his knee. Inman hasn't got up either. Well, physio Kirk immediately over to Finley Shark, and even when on the ground, Inman still feeling the effects of that collision with Shark. Sees the yellow card and says, "What, me?" The physio is now called over. Clearly both players in need of some treatment. Inman is booked. Both players going at full pelt. And with just over half an hour to go, it's still scoreless. Shark back on his feet. And so is Inman. So the yellow card brandished to Inman, much to the annoyance of the Rushden faithful behind Keelan Fallow's goal. Get underway once again with William Echingwale taking this kick. Shark allowed back onto the field, but Inman is going to have to wait. Echingwale looking for Tyler Haddo. Great leap by Haddo. Was a little early, and Shipman wrestled away from the ball by Tago. It will be a Rushden goal kick. Referee unimpressed with Shipman's appeals. It's been a scoreless few minutes in the Premier League. It's still Brighton 3, Palace 0, Burnley 0, Fulham 2, and Newcastle 2, Luton 2. And a reminder, Coventry City are still 1 up at Norwich. Bursting down the right-hand side, Ashton de Mulder. Drilled across the box by Castellano. Redhead looking for Shipman. Intercepted by Michael Harriman, and now Ngwa meets Percy in the centre circle and loses out. Redhead from Downs. Trip on Redhead by Inman, who has to be careful. He's on a yellow card, remember. Free kick to Sphinx. And there's been a goal at Carrow Road. Norwich have equalised through Josh Sargent. Norwich 1, Coventry City 1. So frustration for Mark Robbins' men. Home to continue their push towards a second consecutive playoff final. Back at Hayden Road, it's Jack Redhead with the set piece. In the centre of Rushden's half. Floats in towards Shipman. Nodded up by Shipman, and a free kick given against the Sphinx. And you see him for a little nudge in the back on someone. Not entirely clear who it was. Could well have been Matty Shipman. And there's going to be a change for AFC Rushden and Diamonds, the second substitution of the match for the home side after Luke Emery was withdrawn earlier on. And it's Ruben Wyatt heading onto the field for Ryan Inman. Sensible change for AFC Rushden and Diamonds with Inman on a yellow card. It's the applause of Hayden Road.
For AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Number 19, Ruben Wyatt in. For number 8, Ryan Inman out.
1 in, 1 out. It's Ruben Wyatt coming in. Well, when we get the PA system sorted at Sphinx Drive, we'll put in a transfer request for that guy. George Rose with the goal kick for Rushden. Shirt pulling from Guest. Knocks it to Shipman. Castellano. Ejinguele under pressure from Johnson and forced to play it out on this near side and follow step. Tado. He's a 1-2 with Wyatt. Tado looking for a route down the right touchline, but blocked off by Shark. Second collected by Redhead. Shipman. And trying to muscle his way past Jarvis Wilson, the new skipper. That can only punt it down the left side and into touch for the throw. Frustrating for Shipman. It's been a frustrating game for forwards of both sides. Rushden and Coventry defending well. It has been a real midfield tussle at Hayden Road. Throw by Tado. Glances past Johnson. Ejinguele hooks it over from Corden and fires it high into the sky in the second attempt. De Mulder, Shipman. Look at little back heel on Redhead, who was actually slowed himself down, appealing for handball and didn't get to it. Ashton de Mulder goes to ground under a little barge from O'Neill. Shark tries to keep it alive. Tado intercepts. Down the right from Tado. Headed back into midfield by Ejinguele. O'Neill, aimless ball into the Sphinx penalty area. Volleyed back up the other end of the park to Shipman. Beaten mid-air by Jarvis Wilson. Ejinguele back towards Shipman again. Tyler Haller trying to get on the seconds. Beaten to it by Harriman, the captain. And Jack Downs has been reprimanded there by the referee. Free kick. Not too enthusiastic in trying to get the position of Ruben Wyatt. So about 5 yards outside the Sphinx penalty area. So the Rushden penalty area, it will be a Rushden free kick. Sign of any changes just yet for Coventry Sphinx. They still have all 3 of their alterations left from the bench. They have Leo Wood, the striker on loan from Solihull Moors, defender Callum Whiteside. Downs the central midfielder as well as the dynamic Alex Locke. So do expect to see Locke before long. Ungwa. Can he beat Percy for pace? Slide in by Joe Percy and has sent it out off the bottom of Ungwa's leg. And Miguel Ungwa has now gone down. He's actually off the pitch. So the referee could start the game if he wanted to, but he's going to use some common sense and just wait for Ungwa to steady himself up. And Joe Percy responding to some comments from the Rushden fans. I won't repeat what was being said between the two. And here comes the substitution for Coventry Sphinx. It is Loney for Loney. Ashton Namorda on loan from Solihull Moors. Demorda, a strong performance once again, replaced by his fellow Solihull Moors youngster for his first Sphinx appearance, Leo Wood. So Sphinx are going for it. They're going with Wood on the right, Shipman down the middle, Haddo down the left.
Number 16, Leo Wood in for 7, Ashton DeMulder out.
And we'll get underway once again with this goal kick, and Ungwa is thankfully back on his feet, but is going to, he's leaving the field, I believe. Is headed straight down the tunnel. So at the moment, Rushden down to 10 men. Wood looking to make an immediate impression for the Sphinx. Barges over Pinto and trying to get the ball off him, but down line it goes. Castellano can't keep within the confines of play. Pinto with the throw at left back for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Back where it came from by Castellano. O'Neill, charged from behind by Downs, and Redhead looking to slip it through for Tyler Haddo. Taddo just got there in time. Here's Jack Downs. Castellano. That with Finley Shorrock. Wrong foot's Wyatt. Rolls it into the centre of the park again. Everyone back for Rushden. Guest to Ejingwele, former EFL centre-back. Lofts it towards the box, turned away by Taddo. Guest under pressure from Gordon, but again, just swipes it away from him. Long ball towards Jack Downs, awkward bounce. Can Downs keep within the confines of play? Yes, he can. And slid out by Taddo, right in the corner. Well, Ungwa is returning to the field and is invited straight back onto the pitch. Parity restored in the numbers game as it remains 0-0 on the score sheet with just 20 minutes to go. Redhead. Shorrock back to Redhead. Creates some separation. Rolls onto the edge of the box. Jack Downs back to Redhead. Redhead to strike. Can't keep it down. Jack Redhead carving his way through the Rushden back line, but couldn't provide the finish to match. It has been, as we expected, a very cagey second half. Well, you're not going to believe this scoreline. Newcastle United 2, Luton Town 4. Luton are 4-2 up at Newcastle, who beat Aston Villa away 3-1 midweek. Competent clearance actually falls perfectly to the feet of Redhead. Castellano, tripped by O'Neill as he got the ball away to Matty Shipman. Sphinx wanted to continue with that move. Referee called it back for the free kick. Well, wants to get going, but still unhappy with something. Ejingwele floated towards Wood. Met mid-air by Harriman, and little shove from behind by Percy on Ungla. Free kick to Rushden and Diamonds. A red card at Carrow Road for the second time in the space of a month. Liam Kitching has been sent off for Coventry City for we're being told was a needless foul. That's Coventry City down to 10 men for the remainder of this game against Norwich City. Not across the penalty area. Ejingwele has to head it away momentarily. O'Neill trying to escape the grasp of Jack Downs. Runs into Redhead. Finds an option, and now Corden, who scored a hat-trick last week, hasn't had a sniff today. Stopped by Ejingwele, and now the counter is on. Shipman nods it through to Tyler Hull, who couldn't bring it down. Harriman nods it away from him. And sends it high along the right touchline. Downs has got time. In midfield, nodded away by O'Neill. Guest barges Ungwa over. Castellano. Free on the right is Joe Percy. Sphinx trying to craft something from the back. Punted upfield by Percy. Only as far as Reuben Wyatt. Dinks it up to Corden. Takes a tumble under a little shove from Leo Wood. Free kick. 5 yards into Sphinx territory. Heading towards the business end of this game. 16 minutes to go. AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0. Coventry Sphinx 0. Example with this free kick. Only Wyatt and Pinto remaining back. Paddo staying up for Coventry. They'll come back with Ungwa. I'm going to trick his way past Wood. Miguel Ungwa still trying to get a bit of separation. Chance from behind by Wood, takes it out for a throw. Level with the box. So, Taddo will take it. Surely have to think it's going to be a one-goal game now. If there is to be a goal, handball claims against Shipman, who is then dragged down in the process. The Sphinx trying to get it away. Free kick in their own box to the Sky Blue and Whites. This game hasn't been pretty. Sphinx with the best of the opportunities before the break. That's a possible open goal for Tyler Haddo. So he tried to nod it home. And then the one-on-one. I don't think a point will suit neither. Especially with rugby winning at the moment at home to Cambridge. Wyatt urged to push on, but runs straight into Shorrock. Tyler Haddo, the space out wide for Wood. Leo Wood. Now Castellano, rolled into the centre circle with Jack Downs. William Ejingwele. Sends it high for Redhead on the edge of the area, nodded down by Taddo, who will be first in the second. It's going to be Reuben Wyatt ahead of Woods. Clearance across to the left-hand side, just shy of the halfway line. Sphinx have it, and it's quickly taken by Percy. Shipman, muscled by Pinto, and it's Rushden and Diamonds who race onto it. Here's Corden. Rolls it right. Haddo should get there ahead of Taddo, and does. Shorrock switches away from Taddo, but into the path of Corden, who knocks it off Finley Shorrock, and that looks like a rather fortunate free kick. Rushden was heading down before the touch from Haddo. Not in shooting range for AFC Rushden and Diamonds, but certainly a chance to put it on a white shirt at this crucial stage of the match. Ungwa getting his orders from the management staff. Michael Hammond, not the only player manager in the league, of course, Mark Strzeżewski of Kresley tries to lead his side from within the white lines rather than outside of them. Ruben Wyatt. Header away at the far post by Matty Shipman at the expense of a throw-in on the far side of the field, about halfway into Sphinx territory. Now everyone is back for Coventry Sphinx. Although actually Haddo's been given the go-ahead to go into the centre circle. Thrown to the feet of Corden. Pinto, low drive into the box. Johnson couldn't bring it to feet. Cleared as far as O'Neill. Now Pinto. Corden through to Pinto again. And a diving header by Edging Gwella. He had to get that right. Johnson was lurking menacingly behind him. And he also had Dylan Wilson at the far post too. Rushden have taken control of this match in the last 10 minutes. Again, only Haddo remaining up. Sphinx do not want to concede here. And again, Ejenkwale doing the necessaries, heading it out to Ungwa. It's going to come back in. Nodded up by Shorrock. Tado, out comes Fallows. It's behind for the goal kick. Nervy times at Hayden Road, and there's been another goal in the second half at the game between Rugby Town and Cambridge City. Rugby are now 2-0 up. Rugby Town 2, Cambridge City 0. That could be a massive result for Rugby Town. Gresley now 2-0 down at Spalding, one of the other relegation-threatened teams. You really have to think now it's down to 5 teams, and there are 2 relegation spots. Rushden and Coventry will hope neither of those teams are in them. Wood. Sphinx trying to calm things down, lofted up by Downs, and Tolhurst beyond the back line, but the offside flag raised just as he got the touch. Rushden have 1 change left they can make. Coventry have 2. See Luke Downs warming up a little bit. Could see his introduction soon. Rose looking for Rushden's second clean sheet in 3 matches. Wilson. Castellano wins an aerial duel towards Tyler Haddo, but Haddo gets there first and tries to run it down the touchline. Finds Dylan Wilson, covered up by Ejenkwale. Tado wants the overlap. It's through the legs of Ejenkwale and only as far as Castellano. Heavy touch by Shipman. Steams in on Wyatt. Sharp's clearance avoids the slide of Dylan Wilson and headed back to the goalkeeper by Jarvis Wilson. Rose down the middle. Ejenkwale heads it back towards Jack Downs. Harriman, bit of head tennis going on at this stage of the game. Eventually brought down by the chest of Wyatt. Looks for Ungwa. Shielded from the box by Percy. Forced back into the centre of the park. He's got help from Pinto, but Ungwa on a 1-man mission towards the left-hand corner. Wood able to take the ball away from him, and Percy fouled in the process. Coventry Sphinx free kick on the right side of their own box. Remember to join us on Tuesdays of Loughborough Dynamo to Sphinx Drive. And remember, there will be limited parking due to the building work going on around the ground. It's a 7:45 kickoff. Live coverage, as always, here on the Sphinx YouTube channel. Kick from Follows, bobbled through the midfield and turned away into touch by O'Neill. Not really a decision he had to make. Percy towards Shipman. Shipman header onto Jack Redhead. Charged down by Wilson. O'Neill. Corden. Drills it across the park. O'Neill. Oh, that would have been a perfect ball for Dylan Wilson if it wasn't for the back of Finley Shark blocking it. Guess. Woods, a little too cheeky there, flicking it into the centre circle. No one home. But Jack Downs retrieves for Spinks. Shorrock just kept in by Redhead, and out for the throw-in. Taddo in with the challenge, and Luke Downs is going to be brought in with 7 minutes to go, and it's Jack Redhead leaving the field. Redhead has run himself ragged, and it looks like Rushden are preparing their third and final change.
Substitution for Coventry Sphinx. Number 12, Luke Downs in. For number 10, Jack Redhead out.
Shark hoofs it up towards Shipman. Hardo heading to the path of Jack Downs. Harriman beats him to the punch, but forced to skew it out on this near side. Throwing level with the box for Coventry Sphinx. 6 minutes to go. You can cut the tension with a spoon here. Shark. Shipman nods it on. He's headed out of the penalty area as far as Castellano. Edging Gwele. Finds the chest of Shipman. He's trying to keep the ball away from Wyatt. He did get the shot away, but there was no power behind it. That would have been one of the most spectacular goals of the season from Shipman if he pulled that off. Well, there haven't been too many memorable moments from this one, but the highlights will be available most likely tomorrow afternoon here on the Sphinx YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Guess. Here's header nodded on by Downs. Haddo making the chase, and Taddo forced to thump it out. And here comes the final change for AFC Rushden and Diamonds. It's number 16 heading on. That's Jacob Scott in place of Joe O'Neill. So that's the way that Rushden will end this game. Spinks still have one change they can make with either Callum Whiteside or Alex Locke available.
Scott Jacob in. For 4, Joe O'Neill out.
Shark. Taken down in the challenge by Wyatt. Tried to sweep the ball away from him. Free kick. Level with the penalty area on the left side. Well, crikey, the Newcastle game has been incredible. It's now Newcastle 4, Luton Town 4. Certainly be watching that one on Match of the Day. Also, Burnley have got one back at home to Fulham, and Palace have got one back away at Brighton. Heading towards last chance saloon here, less than 4 minutes of normal time to go. Spinks with this free kick to be taken by Alfonso Castellano. It's coming in all the way, and Rose had to punch that clear. Edging Gwele keeps it alive. Jack Downs. Crossing opportunity for the midfielder. Charge down. Now Luke Downs hooks it back into the danger zone. It's over Matty Shipman. He'll race to try and keep it in. Has he? Yes, he has. And he'll get the corner out of it. The slide by Harriman. He had to make that challenge to prevent Shipman from making inroads.
Come on, Diamond. Pick up. Be brave.
It was such a tense, even affair. It would be unlucky for either team to lose this. Castellano trying to ensure that Rushden do. Castellano. And headed wide by Matty Shipman. That was the moment. That was the chance for Sphinx's star striker. He gets that. 2 minutes of normal time to go, plus stoppages. I would say 3 minutes to be added on. So overall, if my calculations are correct, and let's be honest, they never are, we've got about 5 minutes to go overall. Luke Downs nods it down. Floats over the back line. Tyler Haddo, he's the wrong side of Taddo. Harriman steams in. That sense of danger about them. Rushden are going all out defence now. They can ill afford teams around them to get any more ground on them. They've worked so hard to pull it back. Castellano cleared at the near post by Ruben Wyatt. Johnson. Wyatt finishes the job. It's brought down the halfway line by Luke Downs. Collected by Dylan Wilson. Hooked back where it came from by Downs. Jarvis Wilson. Can even Johnson keep it in? Yes, he can on the slide. But it's to the feet of Shorrock. High ball along the left towards Tyler Hannon. Nodded down by Taddo. Sent up by Edging Gwele. But it's brought down by Corden. And now the chase is on. Taking on Castellano. Scott. Pinto. Everyone right behind Rushden. Poorly paced pass to Unga, but it's run out by Joe Percy. We're about to enter added time. It's like when we were playing football as kids. Next goal wins. Thrown in. Guest is up there. It's not at a cross by, I think it was Johnson. Shot caught short by Wyatt. But Luke Downs ensures the cross goes no further, and Jack Downs hoofs it away from inside. Taddo. Floating it left for Ungwa. Percy trying to keep Ungwa at bay as he receives it on the left. Miguel Ungwa. Wood also there trying to keep him away. Slide in on Ungwa. Runs into the path of Castellano. It's still alive here for Rushden across the face. A goal, is it? No, it's covered in the near post by Keelan Fallows. And immediately Fallows tries to get it away, gets the free kick. As Ethan Johnson blocks the attended clearance for Fallows. And a yellow card for the Rushden number 11. He took one for the team there, preventing the Sphinx counter. Penalty area. Diving header away. Johnson. Percy's clearance. And hooked out by Ruben Wyatt. And there has been a late goal at Carrow Road. Norwich have turned it around. Norwich 2, Coventry City 1. Wood receives from Shipman. High on into the box. I think he was trying to loop it over George Rose, but Rose saw it coming all the way. We are now into added minutes, of which we don't know how many there are. We've already had one. Oh, it has a guess. Got about 3 added minutes. Castellano's header to Wyatt. Shielded away by Jack Downs, the clearance by Shorrock.
Diamonds man of the match as chosen
deflected
by
out for the throw-in.
Diamonds in the match is number 10, Fraser Corden. Well done, Fraser.
So Fraser Corden's just been named man of the match for the home side. Still hope for Rushden. Ungwa has been their most dangerous asset in this game. Overlap being made by Scott, but Castellano snatches it away from him. Spots the run of Wood down the right-hand side. Wood should get there ahead of Pinto. Keeps it in and plays it down line with Percy. First line cross. Counts off the back of the forward. And Percy nudged over mid-air. Free kick to Coventry Sphinx, and they will have what will surely be the last chance of the game. coming up to the end of a third minute of added time. Well, Sphinx don't want to lose this, so they're not shoving everyone in the penalty area. Percy and Edgingway staying back. But how they would love to get the winning goal. It's not been a classic, it's been a proper relegation dogfight. But given the form Rushden are in, would Sphinx have taken a draw before this game? We'll have to ask John Woodward at full time. Castellano sends it straight out. It is looking more likely it will be a point apiece. Referee checks the watch again. Rushden given the hurry up. I think there's going to be one more minute. George Rose, the Rushden goalkeeper, one more time. Sending it down the pipe, but Castellano fires it over the back line. Shipman chasing it, as is Rose. But it's gathered by George Rose. And he's in no rush to take it. And the referee ends this relegation 6-pointer, and it ends up being a 1-pointer for both AFC Rushden and Diamonds and Coventry Sphinx. Neither made a mistake. Neither deserved to lose, but really a draw will not do much for either team in their battle against relegation. AFC Rushden and Diamond remain unbeaten in the last 4 games, but Sphinx have ended their miraculous winning recovery. Who will be the happier with that point? It's hard to say. But Coventry Sphinx leave Hayden Road undefeated. Final score in the Pitching In Northern Premier League Midlands. AFC Rushden and Diamonds 0, Coventry Sphinx 0. Right, let's go through the final scores from around the grounds in the Pitching In Northern Premier League Midlands. Corby Town 1, Hinkley LRFC 0, Harbour Town 2, Bedford United 0, Quorn 3, Coleshill Town 1, Rugby Town 2, Cambridge City 1. Mikey Davis with a late goal there. Might not be over between Rugby and Cambridge. I don't think that game's finished yet. Shepshed 1, Boldmere 1, Spalding 3, Gresley 0. That's an important result for Coventry and Rushden. Sporting Castle 1, Anstey Nomads 4, Sutton Caulfield 0, Lytown 1, and Walsallwood 1, Loughborough Dynamo 2. And the full time at Carrow Road, Norwich City 2, Coventry City 1. Disappointment for Mark Robbins and the Sky Blues, as the 10-man Coventry City have been beaten. In the Premier League, Brighton 4, Crystal Palace 1, Burnley 1, Fulham 2, and Newcastle 4, Luton 4. What a game that was. Can't wait to see that one back. We're back on Tuesday night with the visits of Loughborough Dynamo to Sphinx Drive. Remember, there is limited parking due to the building work, so do use public transport if you can. We'll be talking with manager John Woodward after today's match. And, of course, you can find the highlights of this afternoon's fixture tomorrow afternoon here on the Sphinx YouTube channel. From everyone here at Coventry Sphinx, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.